Hi everybody. Wow, cool beans. Let's switch this back up. I'm in my greenhouse today. I know a number of you guys want to know where I've been. Well, I had a baby. She's 2.5 now. Mom, has been in better health. You know what I mean? Than the last little bit. And of course, come on guys, it's been COVID. I mean, really. So, give me a break. I run the whole house. So, here we go. I am in my greenhouse, and this is the situation. I've done a number of videos, but I'm not sure if I actually told you guys. I pretty much grow only edible and medicinal things: herbs, fruit, vegetables, any kind of herbs that are going to help with our health or any specific health issues in our household, or foreseeable future. So here we go. People ask me how I'm mixing my soil. What the heck do I do to start? There's a lot of newbies out there. I don't want to catch any flack from anyone because no, not everybody knows how to mix soil and what to do. So basic videos are very important for people to learn how to do stuff. So don't come over here being all rude, being all degrading that people are learning these basic skills, because not everybody knows them. So get off your high horse and keep it moving if you're not happy with this video. Just saying. Okay? That being said, let's mix some soil. So when I'm getting ready, I'm in my greenhouse and I do a lot of gardening now. Over the last decade, I've switched my whole thing up, and it's not only great for a healthy lifestyle, but it's also a fabulous hobby. It's something that you will get addicted to. It's a challenge to get the seeds up. It's a lot of fun, but it's great for the whole entire family, and you're getting outside. You're enjoying nature. You're getting the HSOs under your nails, and you're working that soil. It's important. We have lost the skill of land husbandry. It's a problem that we are so disconnected from our food supply that we don't know how to grow it ourselves. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to do it. We have no clue. And that's a problem. I don't like that whole idea. Especially since COVID hit last year, we've all got to be prepared to be able to support ourselves a little bit better and have some self-sufficiency in many ways. Also, if you have any health issues, do some research. Find out what you can do to help yourself naturally, medicinally, with herbs and vegetables and fruits, and changing your diet. I'm not saying, like I said in the last video on the other social platform, I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm not saying I'm just saying explore your options. Give yourself a chance to learn something else and learn how to do it yourself. Because if we're ever cut off from the system like we've been, or if it gets worse, or if it happens again, and you don't want to go to the store, not just that you have issues in a long lineup and there's a whole bunch of people and you're putting yourself in danger, maybe you just don't want to go. Like, you don't even want to put yourself in that situation. So be proactive in some sort of way, and this is what we're doing. We're starting to grow things, and we're learning about getting back to the basics and back to the earth. So let's talk about earth. Pretty much when I buy soil, I try to buy black earth. And you can pretty much get it for about 5 bags for $10. So it's pretty inexpensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money to start gardening. Buy some seeds, buy a little bit of soil, buy a couple pots, or throw your stuff in right directly in the ground. Okay? So then I went to go to the dollar store, get yourself a nice big bin. I have a nice little, it's like a little baby swimming pool or something, or a big bin of sorts. And this is perfect for mixing soil. If not, use another kind of bin, whatever. This is how I do it. Just saying. There's a lot of schools of thought for what to add to your soil, what not to add to your soil. Again, do your research on what you're planting and what your plants like the best. But this is something that I use as an all-purpose soil for vegetables, for herbs, for my fruits, for flowers, for pretty much anything that I'm trying to plant. Unless it's something very, very specific that has these really specific requirements, this is what I'm using. So I'm going to tell you what I add. I add something what I like to call the big 5, okay? Today I'm adding 4 of them, but I'll tell you about the 5th one, of all that information. So you're going to take that soil out. This soil has been in my greenhouse, so it's warmer than outside. It's not freezing, that's for sure. And you're just going to, work it through a little bit. Break up your chunks. Break up your chunks. And make sure there's no strange things in there. Okay. I used about 3/4 of a bag of a 25-liter bag of soil, just so that you guys can kind of see my proportions and what I'm doing. First thing I start with is Epsom salts. Okay, you can get them inexpensively. They assist with flavor, in my opinion. Some people say don't add them. They help with nutrient. It helps with nutrient uptake with your plants. Again, two schools of thought. People say that our plants have too much salt in the soil already, and that this could damage them. I don't have that problem on my property. You can do a test of your own soil to see what kind of situation you have going on. But unless you're right by, say, a roadway, or you're putting an excess amount of salt out for your ice and snow in the winter, we don't really do that. We try and be pretty sparing in that sense, because it can affect your soil some. But unless you're doing that and you're planting right next to it, then you're probably not going to have an issue. I also find that it affects the flavor of, say, my tomatoes. It gives them a better flavor. Okay, so do what you want. And then adding this, there's kind of, I'm going to add all of it and then mix it. There's kind of two schools of thought too. People say add it to your water that you're using to water your plants. 1 teaspoon or up to a tablespoon per gallon of water. And that's just a lot of drama for me. I'm just adding it right to my soil. You're watering your soil anyway. It's going to dissolve in there. It's not going to be a big issue, especially if you're just planting seeds. Okay? Next, I'm going to add eggshells. Now, less waste in your house, people. Don't throw these out. These are like gold, okay? Dry them up, buzz them up in your food processor, and you've got a perfect addition to your soil. Now, this provides a lot of calcium, obviously, to your plants. Things that you're growing, like greens, for instance, have a lot of calcium. Anything that has a lot of high calcium, this is going to help specifically. Otherwise, this helps with balancing, acidity in your soil. Okay, next, tea leaves. We drink a lot of tea in our house, and I have lots of old tea bags. Dry them out, and then I empty them. Okay, for such a time as this. So as for the Epsom salts, I probably added about just over a cup. Eggshells, you can add as much as you like, pretty much. I added maybe 2 cups of tea leaves. Okay, this helps not just with drainage of the soil, but also has a nice amount of organic matter, and is helping the microorganisms to eat in your soil. Plus, tea leaves are nitrogen rich. That helps with development of your plants and pretty much soil fertility all around. Okay, good stuff. Next, I add some sugar. Again, we're going to talk about tomatoes. For instance, if you're doing tomatoes, this affects the flavor of the tomatoes. It makes them a lot sweeter and more flavorful. Okay? Try it yourself. Don't believe me. Do your research. Do whatever you want. But this is what I find, and this is what I like to add to my soil. Now, you're saying, that's 4. Yes, I know. There's 5 things that I like to add. Right now, it's cold. It's only just starting. Well, not starting, but we're in the middle of our melt, of our winter melt. And it's cold outside, and I can't really access my pine needles. Now, we have a lot of pines on our property, and they produce a lot of pine needles. Now, that's fabulous because it provides a nice amount of organic matter. It also helps with drainage. It also helps with soil composition. But I use the pine needles in the bottom of my pots for drainage, instead of putting, say, stones in the bottom or wood chips or something like that. It's a lightweight way to fill the bottom of your pots. You don't have to use so much soil, and it helps with the drainage of the soil. Also, I use those inside this mixture, this soil mixture. I'll add a couple handfuls of the pine needles and mix that all through my soil. That's my big 5. That's what I do. I find good success with it. It's my best success I've had, and this is pretty much the system that I've been using for many, many years now. Also, I use those pine needles to mulch things all around my yard. Pine needles are a fabulous addition to your repertoire. So if you don't have any pines, add a pine or a spruce or a fir, something like that to your property, and you'll have a nice amount of needles at the end of the season to use for composting, etc. So that's what I'm doing, and then I just mix it all through. Use your gloves. Mom gets on me about my gloves all the time. Yeah. There you go, especially when it's cold. Woohoo! Soil's cold. So dig that all through. And then you're ready for your seeding trays or your potting, your pots that you're going to use, or heck, whatever you're trying to plant. So right now in Canada, I'm planting in my greenhouse or in my windowsills in my house. So I'm trying to keep my plants to a minimum in the house right now. That's why I have my greenhouse. I have all my tropicals out here this year. This was the first year I experimented with that. It made me very nervous, but we've had a lot of success. The vast majority of my plants have survived. Only a couple didn't make it, and that kind of makes me sad, but I learned something, and I got a little braver. So I have less of a jungle in my house over the winter, and that's nice too. So, that being said, I'm planting the cold hardy vegetables. So things that you would have planted in your fall and winter garden, things that can go in the ground in the spring. So here in our region, I'm planting May 24. That's pretty much the rule of when you want to plant things outside. Before that, you run some risks of some cold snaps. You still might have a cold snap or two in May, or end of May. And you want to plant those cold hardy veg. So roots and tubers, things like that. Greens, celery, carrots, parsnips, radishes, beets, cabbage, kohlrabi. That's the kind of thing I'm planting. Mustard greens, turnips, rutabaga, heck, all those kind of things. Celery root, mangels, which is giant beet. So stuff like that. Corn is something I've already got in the ground. Corn takes quite a while to grow. I've started a lot of herbs. Herbs take a long time to develop. So I try and get those done. So lavender, thyme, things like that. They take quite a while. What else? What am I doing today? Spinach. I have all kinds of stuff going on here. So that's what I'm doing. Then come May 24, you can start planting outside if you want to do your warmer veg, or you can start it inside or your greenhouse. You can start tomatoes and peppers, you know, in just a little while. Don't do them right now. It still gets cold in here. I do have a little heater in my greenhouse, and I think the last 2 nights it's gone down to 44 in here. So that's not super warm, but it's not freezing. Okay, and that's the kicker. So beautiful soil. Let me show you. That's what we've got going on. Beautiful, healthy soil. That sugar feeds all those microorganisms, again, that I was talking about. The sugar feeds the microorganisms, and they help your plants. Look at that. Nice, nice soil. So it's ready for me to get in the seeding trays, and I'm going to be doing cooking shows. Don't worry, guys, but I've had a lot of things we need to deal with in this household this year as well. So we're going to try and do a lot more farm-to-table type stuff. So I'm going to show you these plants that I'm growing, and I'm going to show you harvesting them and when to do that, and then how to cook it. So I think that's a good place to start this year. A lot of people are starting their new gardens that have never gardened before. I'm seeing a huge uptick in people trying to become more self-sufficient, and that is awesome because it is such a dying art, and it's important for us to know how to do this. We cannot be reliant upon the system all the time. You have to make sure that you got some backup plans. Just saying. Anyways, that's it. That's all. Be a champion in your kitchen or your greenhouse, wherever you are today. Just be a champion. All right. Bye.